time where you truly are breaking bread, you're in relation through art making itself, and it's participatory. That's I believe a key ingredient to sustainable community and partnerships is that we actually are doing, breathing, making, training, and building community. But it's all about finding ways to participate. And what you said about being you're not just a spectator, that at any one moment you could also be an artist too. The dynamism of that, it can be really scary for some, but really exciting, but it's our birthright, you know.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. That's a very powerful idea. You know, and wow, yeah. And you said spirit. Now, don't get me wrong; those issues are important. And sometimes there is some good theater work that focuses on storytelling that looks at particular issues. And you know, Boal-based work that I've done before. You know, it's about putting out a problem and then trying to find solutions through theater. But I love this transcendent thing that you're describing, the spirit, because that's really what we all want, regardless of background. You know, and then how does some of those problems actually get addressed, or you are approaching them with a greater presence of knowing who you are and your power, if you're also doing what you just described.
People who are in presenting situation, who think like you do, and luckily there are others out there who do, they have the good programs. As simple as that. The people who are so locked into, 5 quartets, 1 quintet, and a symphony, and the audience gets no farther than the edge of the stage, and then they go to their parties, but it's not really about that joining process. Those are not healthy. And unfortunately, we do a lot of those, we do a lot of those things where you go, you do your show, and by the time you've packed your masks and costumes up, the audience is gone. The presenter's gone. There's nothing but one stagehand waiting to lock the door on the way out, And those feel kind of sad all the time. I mean, money's good, but those feel sad. It's the ones where you do get to work in the community, and we like to do these shows where, the show lasts an hour, and then we spend the next hour bringing out all the masks, let people touch them, let them look at them, and talk about what we do and talk about their response to the work. It's not really that question-answer thing, but it's more like just getting together and talking about it,
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that a lot. I think that business of when theater actually creates a space, in the case of theater, music does the same thing, dance does the same thing, performing arts. When they give people a chance to participate, even if it's as an audience member, and that makes a space in their life where all the junk that's been bugging them has to go away for a little while, it's got to help.
Yeah.
It's got to help.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. It's got to help.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were in Belfast, that was our only job. We were coming in right after marching season, when the Unionists basically terrorized the Republican neighborhoods. And as soon as that was over, we came in and did shows and got a whole community in there. And the interesting part, it was Presbyterians doing this for a Catholic community. And we came in and we basically kind of make them laugh, make them have a good time, make them laugh in their own language, not in English.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point. So they feel better.
I see this with humility. It's not about prescribing what needs to happen or a certain way. It's more describing what is possible, but on a continuum, theater performance that leads to some form of transformation, change. So it can be in the moment with just the person laughing and what's shifted for them. But to the extent you reflect on that, even as an audience member, I think it's a good thing. But then participatory aspects, what's really transforming? But what kinds of theater and performance, and again, this is my taste, require you, when you watch it, to really bring yourself to it as a participant with your heart, your mind. There was this wonderful woman named Naoko Mashiba in Baltimore that has this piece that's influenced by dance and Buto and some other stuff, but she's so her work is about mystery.
Right.
And she creates these incredible stage images with sound and just physical movement with her company, and people come in and they're like, what the, but what it's about, it's nothing new. It's not postmodernism, but it's more than that. It's like you really have to come and be a partner with it. It's not literal, it's not explicit, and that's what she's trying to create, to shake up and wake us up.
Yes.
So, wake us up as community members and audience. So that kind of theater is, again, participatory, that leads to some shift or transformation.
You've just described a perfect example of exactly the kind of theater that is emerging right now as world theater in the 21st century. I mean, we get to participate in a lot of it, in different festivals and things. This is what's happening, and this is the only reason for theater to exist, because right now people apparently can have a much more intimate experience with film, video, and soon there will be holo helmets. I know that seems more intimate, but the energy exchange. And it is, I have to say it is an absolute energy exchange that occurs between an artist like you're describing and the audience watching that you cannot get anywhere else but that live theater experience. And that is transformational, and that is exactly the only thing that is going to be relevant about any of the performing arts from this moment forward. Even if you're talking a big grandiose thing like Cirque du Soleil, they're still doing that. They're still creating those vacuums and things, I call them, where people have to rush in and fill things, They have to the people have to put their feelers out into the performance. They can't help it. They've got to be part of it, And you feel them when you perform. They're latching onto you and you're latching onto them, and the whole thing is just getting... you say you sound like a witch, but you're building up an energy cone right there in the room, and that's...
When you have conversations with artists that you're presenting and you talk about this potentiality, rather than just showing up, getting your paycheck, and leaving,
right.
a lot more people are open to it. They have these sensibilities. They care. Sometimes they don't know how, or they just want to know, are you a viable partner, and trust him to go and create something while they're in residence that's also, or the theater itself, but like, how do we extend beyond the performance, or shape the performance in a certain way that it leads to change or transformation.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, if you have a dialogue as a presenter, that this is part of the contract, this is part of the expectation that we're going to talk about intentionally, why are we doing this project, why this performance. People are open to it. It was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you.